Welcome to our exploration of Chapter 55 of Haft al-Shareef. In this chapter, al-Mufaddal relates a discussion with Imam al-Sadiq concerning disbelief, spiritual transformation, and the nature of reward and punishment. The dialogue presents ideas that have been interpreted in different ways throughout history and remain subjects of discussion among readers and scholars. The chapter begins with al-Mufaddal asking Imam al-Sadiq about the fate of disbelieving men and women. According to the narration, Imam al-Sadiq explains that the disbelieving man is returned in the image of a disbelieving woman, while the disbelieving woman is not returned in the image of a disbelieving man. He then describes what he presents as a process of spiritual ascent and decline. He states that believing men and women rise through spiritual degrees until they become believing men, and that believing men rise to even higher stations. In contrast, he says that disbelievers descend from the degree of men until they all become disbelieving women. Al-Mufaddal then recalls a statement attributed to Imam al-Sadiq's father. He says that he had heard it narrated that women are more evil, more deceitful, and more cunning than men. In response, Imam al-Sadiq begins a lengthy explanation intended to support this view. He states that the origin of evil began with Eve and that Adam was removed from paradise after being persuaded to eat the forbidden fruit. He then refers to the story of Cain and Abel, saying that Cain's killing of his brother occurred because of a woman. The Imam continues by drawing attention to the wives of Noah and Lot, who are mentioned in the Quran as having betrayed their husbands. He then refers to the death of Yahya ibn Zakaria, known in Christian tradition as John the Baptist, attributing the event to the actions of an adulterous woman. The narration presents these examples as evidence for a broader argument concerning temptation, betrayal, and moral corruption. Imam al-Sadiq next refers to traditions in which the Prophet is said to have looked into the fire and observed that many of its inhabitants were women. The chapter uses this report to further reinforce its central theme. The discussion then turns toward the concept of plotting and deception. Imam al-Sadiq states that women are stronger in plotting than men and claims that this is supported by scripture. He further declares that devils originate from women and that when a human being persists in disbelief, rebellion, and tyranny, that person becomes like a devil and is ultimately returned in the image of a woman. At this point in the narration, al-Mufaddal expresses surprise and emotion. He says, "Glory be to Allah, O Master. I did not know that, and I did not think it would make me cry." Imam al-Sadiq then cites two Quranic passages. The first is the verse stating that the plot of Satan is weak. The second is the verse in which the plotting of women is described as mighty. By placing these two verses side by side, the Imam argues that the plotting associated with women is greater than that associated with Satan. According to the narration, this comparison serves as further support for the chapter's overall teaching regarding disbelief and spiritual degeneration. Al-Mufaddal then responds by affirming the explanation that he has received. As the chapter concludes, Imam al-Sadiq summarizes the discussion. He tells al-Mufaddal that these teachings describe the incarnations of the disbeliever in the image of the disbelieving woman. With that statement, the dialogue comes to an end. Chapter 55 presents a theological argument concerning disbelief, punishment, spiritual rank, and symbolic transformation. The chapter's claims are rooted in the worldview of the text itself and have been interpreted differently by various readers over time. Whether understood literally, symbolically, or within a specific theological framework, the chapter offers insight into the beliefs and teachings preserved within Haft al-Shareef and provides an example of the dialogue format through which many of its doctrines are conveyed.